Hi, it's Sue Greenwald here with Awakened Stories. I'm here with Deanna Carr from the Mystical Moonlight. Hey, Deanna, how are you?
I'm good. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing good. So today's surprise topic is, drum roll, the Bermuda Triangle. Dee never knows what we're going to talk about because it's just fun that way. So legend has it that airplanes, ships, boats, etc., go into the Bermuda Triangle and they're never seen again. So
Mhm.
first question, is that real? Is that rumor real?
Yes, they are going into a space where they kind of disappear on our part.
Yep.
Um, there's multiple things happening there. So first, they are going through one of those fields. We talked about how different species have these fields that you can't see, but behind it is this magical place that they live. Um, So part of it is that, but there is also access to Atlantis that way.
Ooh.
And once they go in, they don't come out. Not in a creepy, bad way, but they don't really want secrets to come out. So when they're in there, they kind of stay.
Okay. So that leads to only a jillion more questions, but are they mind wiped? Are they coerced to stay? Are they convinced to stay? Or do they just like it there and don't want to leave?
It's kind of a mixture, but for the most part, they like it there and they don't want to leave.
Oh, okay.
So it's it's different. It's unique. It's kind of like access to inner earth. And so it's more mystical. It's interesting. There's plenty of food. Like it's a healthier place to be. And so most of them don't really want to come back and or they don't have anything really to come back to. And then the other reason, if people do want to go out, it's kind of like, well, we're gonna have to mind wipe you. And instead of putting them back on the boat or back on the ship, they kind of place them back on land and just say skedat.
Yeah,
like
okay.
we'll
So
figure
like
it out now.
they're kind of mind wiped, so they don't really know where they were or what happened to them.
Mhm.
Okay, so Bermuda Triangle is real. It's kind of like, we'll call it like a secret entrance or a portal to, are
Yeah.
you saying Atlantis then?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And so there's like a force field or a shield area where we can't like sense it or see it that people go through accidentally.
Yes. So part of that is um everybody's gonna be like, well, Atlantis was supposed to have sunk. Where is it? So imagine it as this big hole in the ocean going down into inner Earth. So it's basically like a free access point to get to, inner Earth slash Atlantis. And that is the access point that they're covering up. So that's what's behind that hidden gate. We'll call it that.
Whoa. I mean, this is, we were going to do just a quick little video, but I can see this expanding out,
Yeah.
which is all good. So is this shield a magnetic field, or like how did they create it? Just different
So
technology?
it's different technology. We have some understanding of how to use it, but it's definitely alien technology for us. So we've had to develop it to create this, structure.
Okay, okay. How long or how old is the Bermuda Triangle? Like how many, has it been there for thousands? Has it been there for millions, billions of years?
No, probably thousands.
Thousands,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm not saying millions or billions.
Okay.
It's more new.
So before the Bermuda Triangle with this little hidden portal thingy was there, how did people get to Atlantis? Was Atlantis up on the surface?
Yeah, it was part of the playing field. And then after a certain point, it was brought down so that people couldn't get access to it.
Okay. Did the people on Atlantis ascend, or was it they were just taken out of the game, or what happened to them?
There was a few that ascended, but most of them were taken out.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. So All right. Now, the people that, have gone through to Atlantis, they're from all different time periods.
Mhm.
Time, they're the same as what we have here. Do they age or whatever the same?
No, they were living longer.
Mm.
Um, they, I'm getting like 1,000
Wow, okay.
at least. It could
Yeah,
be longer. They really did not age, and that's because of multiple factors. The food, they had different technology, so it wasn't draining. It
yeah,
was actually giving them energy.
right.
Whereas we obviously have stuff that's draining our energy, it's making us tired and taking away
Yeah,
from us.
yeah.
So there's multiple things that help them to stay longer.
Okay, so that is probably a nice factor in getting them to stay with happiness, you know what I mean? Like they've
Mhm.
got everything they need and it's pleasant there. They've
Yeah.
got food, they live a long time, and there's probably not all the stress and the war and the hassle that we have here.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's more
right.
relaxing and fun.
Yeah. Well, I really wanted to do Atlantis in a separate video, but we can touch on it now. So
Yeah.
Atlantis was a real place, and it basically was taken off the playing field of what we call the game zone. And we've
Mhm.
talked about that in previous videos, but so it's down in inner Earth is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. It,
So when you talk about inner earth, there's multiple layers. Like when you're going down into it. So they're like in between the inner earth and then the crust, like where we're at, like the
okay.
top playing field.
All
So they're
right.
kind of like in the middle. So like going down there, you get a brief preview of inner earth, and then you can go further into inner earth.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. And there's beings still alive there, obviously humans, animals, plants, the whole
Yeah.
thing. So whoever is living in Atlantis now, are they living these happy, long lives?
Yes.
Okay. So Atlantis, we're told that Atlantis was kind of like it covered the earth way back when. And then they had basically developed technology. They were trying to do things without, we'll call it a heart, soul, love, God, source, whatever you want to call it, in it.
Mhm.
So they were using technology, and what we were told is that they blew up their landmass, Atlantis, and that's why
Mhm.
it fell. Is that a true understanding?
No. Um, I guess bits and pieces. I mean, it did fall,
Yeah.
but it was purposeful. It wasn't like, hey, this was an accident. We accidentally blew it up. It was, brought down, but it was not purposeful. Or,
Okay.
oh my gosh, what did I say?
Did,
Ah,
did, did people have advance notice that Atlantis was going to be fallen?
no.
So it just happened. Was there catastrophe at the end? Like, was there, volcanoes erupting, boulders falling, that kind of stuff?
There was a few. Um, all right, so most of them, okay, so part of them knew what was happening.
Yeah.
There were still, like kind of like elites that knew what was happening, ones that were close to, things that were going on. Base population did not know. Um, and then when it was brought down, so what I'm saying, it wasn't really eruption like. It wasn't like an explosion. It was like it was cut out and lowered. And that's how I'm seeing it. So there might have been a few just because of, the lines and separation, things were happening, but it wasn't like it just crumbled inward. So even if you go down now, it's not going to be in rumbles and destroyed and all that. There's still going to be pieces that are still intact because it was more like it was a cookie cutter shape and then plopped down.
So that was done by advanced technology, stuff that we
Yes,
can't do now, right?
yes.
Okay. Did that happen around the time that the tsunamis or whatever hit the pyramid?
It was, I'm getting before.
Happened
It
before.
was, it was before.
So Atlantis fell before the pyramids
Yeah.
were.
Or were they in direct correlation? No, that doesn't make sense. No, yeah, so they were before the pyramids. And the pyramids came what time? I'm getting 200 years afterwards, the pyramids came.
Okay. All
And
right.
that's when the tsunami came for these pyramids.
Okay. I had always assumed that the tsunami was created by Atlantis, the land mass sinking and shifting the earth. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I just asked, and they said no. It wasn't because it wasn't in direct correlation.
All right.
They were separate incidences. The tsunami was, like we'd said, it was a made wave.
Right.
Um, and they were a made cookie cutter shape brought down.
Right.
But no, they're not in direct correlation. They come in different time frames.
Interesting. Okay. When I was in Egypt, like if you look at the sand, you can literally see tiny little seashells throughout it.
Mhm.
So that's why I just assumed that was the tsunami that brought the sand that washed away the outside part of the pyramid and it was caused by Atlantis falling, but no. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so the water that was from for Egypt, it was ocean water.
Yeah.
And obviously sand from the sea.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was definitely different.
Wow. Okay. So, Atlantis, like we've always, we kind of envision Atlantis as this higher spiritual realm where everyone like had a higher belief system than we have now, and they were more tuned into spirituality. They had greater technology. They had easy lives. Is any of that true?
Yes and no. They weren't on a higher spiritual level. I mean, it's kind of like now, like everybody has a different belief.
Yeah.
Um, they did have more advanced technology. So some of that you've seen throughout, shows and, explanations of what happened
Yeah.
in Atlantis.
Yeah.
So they did have higher technology than what we have. Um, what was the other part of the question?
I don't know. I was just thinking something else. In Dolores Cannon's book about Atlantis, she talks about how there were crystals, large crystals everywhere, and they basically powered the cities and they gave
Mhm.
them, free energy, we'll call it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we use crystals and everything now. So technology is using crystals and water. I mean, they've even developed water to hold information for technology, which is
Right.
funny because like, well, how do they work together? Because you have electricity and water. Um, but yeah, crystals are in even our phones now. So they have people mining. Like there's a lot that goes into it. We just see it as, metallic metal things, but they have crystals that power it.
Okay.
So even though we don't physically see it, there's crystals in everything. So yes, they were using crystals. They even show that. I mean, she talks about it. I mean, even talk about Disney showing it through their shows, Journey to Atlantis or whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah,
And they have it on their necks. It gives their technology power. There's a lot that comes from it. So
right,
yes, they definitely had crystals as powering. And then when we talk about going into the center of the earth too, um, the crystals are larger and more potent than what we have. That's why people have to mine for them. They have to go
right,
into the earth to get
right,
them because they are potent.
right. So they were used to power the cities and other things,
Mhm.
yeah. And
Yeah.
they had different technology than we do now. In fact, I'd say advanced technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We think we're the best, but we're not.
anything else we can say right now about the Bermuda Triangle and or Atlantis? Like, I know down in Bermuda, there's the Bimini, which is, there's an underground, like a stone road, if you will.
Mhm.
And they
Yeah.
say that's where Atlantis was, which is right in that area. And you can see many statues and things underwater. In fact, I think they found a city and it's under like a dome or a bubble. They suck the water out and they're
Mhm.
taking out the artifacts under the ocean now.
Yeah.
Do you think that's part of Atlantis as well? Okay, so these statues and this road, this Bimini Road, was that part of Atlantis then?
No, it wasn't specifically part of it. Atlantis is kind of separate, but
Yeah.
when it's separated, I'm saying it's like cookie cutter,
Yeah.
where the earth that remains on top, it did kind of sink in to the
Okay.
water.
All right.
But that's not directly next to it. So it's not like, hey, I can just walk where that statue is and there's Atlantis. They kind of separated a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so part of it is from where it just kind of sunk in as the earth.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
Mhm.
Is there anything else we just, and again, this is surface level stuff. We're doing a quick video. Is there
Yeah.
anything else that we should know about the Bermuda Triangle that I haven't asked?
I don't think so. I think you covered most questions. I mean, like I said, if there's more questions, ask them, but
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's the base for now.
Okay. How
Yeah.
about Atlantis? Anything else I didn't ask?
Um, there's still people walking around down there having fun. Nice, it's a nice place to be. Uh, not everybody is supposed to go there. So that's also why it's hidden.
All right. Are they aware of us guys? Like,
Yes and no. They have a brief understanding, but they don't understand what it's like to live up here.
okay. All right.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
they're still, even though it's been a while, they're still kind of living life as it has been for them. They've
Yeah.
developed their own system. So people come there, but they don't know what it's like here.
Okay.
So
Okay, interesting. So I'm going to ask the viewer to put any comments or questions into the comments section for Bermuda Triangle or Atlantis, and we'll try to answer them in our next Q&A follow-up. Okay?
yep.
Thanks so
Mhm.
much, Dee.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.